What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Another day in paradise here at Devin's shop. Didn't know what else to call it. Yesterday we got the whole front end finished up. Wide body panels are chilling over here. We are waiting on this epoxy to cure, and I noticed a little issue. It's still kind of wet, which it should definitely be hardened by now. There's a little insert that was supposed to go in this tube right here, and I didn't notice that the insert fell out when it's sitting in the box. So I don't think that this got mixed properly. I'm gonna give it probably till tomorrow. If it's still like not completely hardened to where I can't just rip them off, then I'm gonna have to go ahead and redo everything. It's not a big deal. Thankfully the rest of the kit is good. It's just these 6 bolts here we may have to redo, which would not be a big deal. I'm sitting here reading all the comments from yesterday's video. So many of you guys want me to paint this car. Like I said, man, I might do it eventually, but right now, I don't think it's in the cards. That would be so much prep work, I feel like. But thankfully, the car's probably already sanded down underneath the wrap, if we're being completely honest. Today's goal is the rear bumper. Rear bumper needs so much work. This is the rear bumper that we are running. It is a Voltex style, and it looks so sick. There's a yellow hatch I keep looking at that has the same bumper. I'm guessing it's a legit one, but the same bumper on the car, and it looks amazing. This full bumper is gonna have to be resprayed, and it needs billions and billions and billions of hours of work before we do that. We have a crack there, a hole there, a crack there, crack there, peeling paint. Crack, crack, hole, crack, 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 hole. As you can see, it needs a lot of love. That's why I'm probably just gonna dedicate this whole day to the rear bumper and the rear bumper only. And we have something showing up in the mail today. I may run back to the house to grab it. I don't wanna tell you guys what it is because a lot of you have wanted me to get this particular item for a while, and it's gonna help out with painting, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, like I said, fix all the fiberglass issues on that bumper. The whole thing is gonna have to be sanded down. There's like some sort of primer that's already on here, but it just keeps flaking off. So every single speck of this primer is gonna have to be sanded off. So let's pull this thing outside. Oh wow, another crack. Probably the worst panel I've ever worked on in my life. Okay, we have 320 on the DA sander with an interface pad. That foam pad is gonna prevent us from completely burning through all the edges. The main goal with this first step is to just knock all of that janky, flaky, shitty primer off that bumper. So let's run through, get the whole thing freaking sanded down, and then we can move on and get some fiberglass work done. I'm quickly realizing how long this is gonna take. I went from 320 down to 180, but I'm gonna run into the store, to the paint store, and grab something even rougher. If I could find like a 80 grit wet or dry, I don't know if they make something that coarse that you can use with wet. I'm sure they do. That would go much quicker. And I'm realizing that I'm preferring wet sanding over dry sanding, just because wet sanding, you don't have all the dust, which is really nice. And I also need more filler primer. I need to grab base. I don't have enough base to do the parts that we need to do. So let's run to the store and grab some goodies. I ended up just buying everything in the world at the paint store. $700 worth of product we just purchased. A ton, and I mean a ton, at least for me, of epoxy primer. We have filler primer, clear, some base, all of the kickers for everything, sticks and strainers, sandpaper, freaking everything in the world. I was so sick of running to the paint store all the time for more product, mainly just primers and clear and stuff like that. Of course, we're gonna have to go for base a lot for different cars, but yeah, we got enough paint to like paint 40 cars, so we should be all right. All right guys, so we just got done pretty much sanding the entire bumper. Well, not pretty much, the entire bumper's sanded out. I went 80 grit on the DA, and then I bumped it to 400 just to get all those 80 grit sand scratches out. And as you can see, it's a freaking mess. It started pouring down rain in the middle of it, and they made it a little bit easier to wet sand. But yeah, this is how the bumper currently looks. There's still a few areas I'm gonna have to touch up, but for the most part, all of that flaky primer is sanded off this thing. I'm gonna get cleaned up and then we can move on to some fiberglass work. All right, take out a quick little break from the shop. I'm gonna head back to the house right now. There's a package that we need to finish up today's episode, and I'm gonna get Bobby out of the house. Bobby has not left the house in like 4 or 5 days because she's been a bit sick. Well, she like gets better at night, like in the evening, and then the next morning she feels like shit again. So I'm gonna get her out of the house because I think that's what she needs. And yeah, she wants Chick-fil-A. I don't like Chick-fil-A though. I think it's way overhyped. Just my opinion. Are you okay?
Not okay.
Okay. I have a counter offer to your request. I think we should go to Sonic.
Sonic?
Yeah.
I hate Sonic.
All right, we got Bobby out of the house, kicked it for a few hours. Now we are back at the shop and we gotta get some stuff done. 3 boxes came in today. These 3 boxes should be our new paint booth, which is kind of cool. I'm so sick of pulling all the cars out of the shop. Now, I was torn to buy either a small one or a big one, and I bought a small one, and I'll explain later why I bought a small one, but the top box should be the booth itself, and then I think the bottom 2 boxes are the fans, or like the blower motors. Let's get all these opened up and see what we got. Oh, these are not the blowers. The blowers didn't come apparently yet. These are the new wheels for the hatch. 18 by 11, wide boys. This guy here is our inflatable paint booth. It's supposed to come with 2 giant blowers, but it looks like they probably shipped those different and they didn't show up yet. There's no sense in opening this thing all the way up and blowing it up right now. Actually, I don't even think we can without the blowers. Because we don't need it right now, we probably will be using it tomorrow if the blowers come in, because we got some paint work to do, which is exciting. Okay, the 2 areas that we need to fiberglass in is this area right here, right on the bottom, just got it all ground out. I'll probably put some fiberglass on the front side and the back side on that one. And then up in this top corner right here, that guy needs a little bit of fiberglass as well. And then pretty much all the other damaged areas on the bumper, we can just fill with some fiberglass reinforced body filler. So something like that, just a little bit of body filler. That guy there, there's probably like 10 of those areas, I would say. There's another one there. that need some filler. Let's go ahead and slap down this fiberglass right now. And then as soon as that cures, we can sand it and then lay down some body filler. I finally bought a brush and I noticed it's much easier for laying down this fiberglass resin. Makes life way easier versus doing it with a paint mixing stick. All right, we got all of that body filler laid down on the bumper. As you can see, there was a ton of areas that needed it. It's already 11 p.m. and I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. So I'm gonna pop back in the morning. We can sand all of that down. There's a lot of areas that are gonna need filler primer, but thankfully that dries fast. The goal for this video is to get this thing painted. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, boys, next morning, let's go ahead and knock down this filler. The reason I put so much on right here is because this body line was a little bit shallow, so I wanted to build that up. Let's just grab some 80 grit and get all this knocked down, get it looking good, get it looking right. I do need to pull off that front fender. There's a hole on that driver's side, that silver fender up there. I need to get that welded up, and we can shoot some filler primer on that guy at the same time. There's nothing worse than pouring paint out of a full tub, especially a big old one like this. Every freaking time I spill everywhere. So that was cool. All right, pieces and parts that we're painting. Silver metal fender, we had that little hole I just welded up, so I'm gonna spray a little bit of filler on there. That is the over fender for the passenger side. We had to sand it down a little bit on the edge, a little bit of filler there. Bumper where we filled those holes, and then of course this rear bumper. Somebody commented I need to be spraying the filler primer over rougher grit or a rougher surface. Instead of going to like a 320, I just left it at 80 grit. And I'm gonna spray a few coats on there, and they said it's gonna bite a whole lot better. So yeah, let's get everything sprayed out. I'll probably do maybe 3 coats on some of these areas because there's some weird stuff going on with this bumper. Everything else should need 2 coats though. We should be good. I need to figure out how to fill, and I'm sure some of you guys know, so comment below, but how to fill these holes in fiberglass. Little stuff like that. I've tried to fill it with primer. That's what we did on those wide body panels, but I don't think that's the proper way to do it. I'm not sure if like a glazing putty would be fine enough to fill in that hole, but drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. We do have a package. We've had this package sitting around for a few days now. This is a new big wing for the hatch. I'm really excited for this. I think these things should have came stock from Subaru with this wing. I found it online. I think it's about 400 bucks, and I hope it fits good and I hope it looks good. So let's go ahead, open it up, pull it out of the box, and if it's in good shape, slap it on the car and see how she looks. So this is everything to do with the wing. We have a blade, we have another section of the wing. Looks like the left hand mount, right hand mount, some little brackets, and some hardware. Overall, it's in decent shape. It's gonna need a little bit of body work before we do any sort of paint work or wrap on it, but I think it could be a lot worse. Let's go ahead and slap it on the car and see how it fits. We need to go ahead, pull off the stock wing. This thing is clearly not mounted properly. Slightly floppy, so I'm not sure how to pull it off, but I'll show you guys when I get it off. There was only one nut holding it on. It's supposed to be a few on the studs, but just one, so that was easy to remove. Looks like a regular old Impreza with no wing. So hilarious looking. So I think this piece right here goes on first. This thing is confusing, to be honest. It looks like we're gonna have to drill a ton of holes in the hatch, which is okay. Actually, it might line up. Huh, it actually does line up, sick. So that piece goes on first. I'm actually impressed. It somehow lines up with all of the holes in the hatch. I thought we were gonna have to do a ton of work to get this thing to fit right. There is one hole that we have to drill first. So if you come up here, you can see all these holes here. You'll use those holes to attach this, but we also need to punch out these holes right here. Oh, we don't have to drill anything. It's actually, there's like a clear sticker over it. So I'm just gonna pop that through and we should be able to bolt this onto here. Before we do any sort of prep work, I gotta make sure this thing's actually gonna fit right and look good before we spend a couple hours getting this thing ready for paint. All right, now we should be able to bolt this guy onto the hatch. Ooh. Like I said, boys, these things should have came factory. They should have came stock with this wing. That makes everything look so much better. I know this car looks like a complete pile right now, but when it's all finished up, she's gonna look good. She's gonna look real good. Wing fits really well, which is definitely a bit of a surprise. It's always hit and miss ordering things online, off eBay, off Amazon, that aren't real legit parts. I think Varis makes this wing, but it's like $1,500 and this one is about $400, and I got it in 3 days instead of 3 months. Overall, she looks mint. I'm actually gonna pull this thing outside. I want to throw some wheels on it. I want to get it out of the shop, maybe clean it up a little bit, and we need to clean up the rest of the shop as well because it's a mess. Damn, that thing looks good. I'll link that exact one I bought down in the description box below. This swing adds so much to the car, man. I'm stoked. I'm super glad we did it, and I'm super glad that she fits well and isn't gonna need a lot of prep work to make perfect. I cannot wait to get this car done. Sheesh. It's gonna be so sick. I'm gonna give it a quick hose down, just get all the sanding dust off of it, and I'll probably be done for the day. Like I said, if you guys want to pick up this wing, I'll have it linked down in the description box below. I know I said at the beginning that I wanted to get the rear bumper fully sprayed, but being that we cannot use our new paint booth, I'd rather wait a day or two for the blowers to come in so we can actually use that instead of trying to prep out the whole entire shop again to make the shop into a paint booth. So we should be able to get that done in the next few days. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow.